You're not your highest self yet, but that's exactly why you're watching this video. You see, too many people are focused on what it is that they want, that they never stop to think about who it is that they need to become to have the things that they want. Be, do, have. It all starts with the person that you are being. And so when you are looking to shift into the highest version of yourself, you have to look at your programming. You have to look at those beliefs. You have to look at that internal talk. And shifting your identity will really allow you to step into what it is that you want. Shifting your identity is so necessary, and it definitely was so necessary for me. For those who don't know me, I'm Imani, mindset coach and transformational speaker. Let's get into it. And shifting my identity played such a huge role for me when I was doing Beyond the Roots, which some of you all know is my 85-minute one woman show that I did. I wrote it, and then I also performed it 4 nights in a row, and I've also done it some other times. So it's just something that I have in my back pocket. I need to claim being a writer. I need to claim being a performer for me to fully step into what it is that I wanted to do. So I was literally doing the work day in and day out, but there's something that just wasn't clicking. And when I finally sat down with myself and I was like, hey, this is who you are. People would ask me when I was in the middle of just creating and doing things, they'd be like, oh my goodness, you're a writer. I was like, but the truth is I am a writer. Oh my goodness, you're a performer. Yeah, that's exactly what you are. And you need to step into that so that you can fully show up as a writer, as a performer, to allow you to give people what it is that you really want them to see. And so that was a major shift that I had to have, right? An identity shift for me to show up and have better shows, because the shows before the identity shift, not the best, but the shows after the identity shift, that's the work that I know that I needed to do. So looking at shifting your identity, there's 3 major parts to it, right? The first part is looking at your programming. And when I say programming, it is all about what it is that you believe, what that's narrative that is continuing to run even though you're not consciously aware of it. And so your programming happens between the ages 0 to 7. That is when you are truly a sponge, and everything that you're taking in as true. So what your parents are saying, what your teachers are saying, what you see in the media, especially in this day and age, social media, TV, radio, all of it, you're really taking it in. And not only are you taking in what you hear, but you also take in what you see, right? And so if you're taking all of these things in, what happens is that there are a lot of people out there that have programs that are running that they did not choose. And if you don't take a moment to look at the program you are running, you're just going to continue to run it. And so looking at the way that you tell yourself different stories, looking at what it is that you believe, all plays a role. Belief is the foundation, right? If you believe that it can happen for you, then you will take the steps necessary for it to happen. If you don't even believe, you won't be taking any steps. And so belief is the foundation. And growing up in Atlanta, my belief in myself and what I could accomplish was very strong because the people around me, they looked like me, right? I had Black doctors, Black women doctors, dentists, engineers, lawyers, performers, artists, whatever you name it. I knew that at the foundation of it all, at the core of it all, I could do anything. Growing up in Atlanta, I could be anything because I saw that around me. So the programming was, no matter who I may be, right? If I choose, I can do what I want to do. You want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be an astronaut, you choose. You want to be a singer? Maybe not a singer so much because my mom wasn't fond of me singing, so I use this instrument for speaking. But yes, you can be anything. And sometimes to believe it, you have to see it, and that's exactly what I saw. And so you need to check in on your programming when you are looking at becoming your highest self. Because there is some programming that is in conflict with the highest version of yourself. And so looking at that programming. Another thing that you need to do when you are changing your identity, when you are stepping into the next level of yourself, is getting clear on what that version of yourself looks like. And you can do that by asking yourself 4 questions. These are 4 questions that I continue to ask myself. These are questions that I work with my clients. And those questions are, who is the 2.0 you? What are their habits? What are the actions that they are taking each and every day? What are their beliefs? And how do they talk to themselves? Our words not only describe the reality around us, they shape the reality that we see. And so the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you see yourself is going to shape the conversations that you find yourself in. They're going to shape the people that you are around. They're going to shape the environment that you are in. They're going to shape the actions that you take. Because when you're talking down to yourself, you're not going to show up for yourself. So that inner dialogue is so important. Get clear on the way that they talk to themselves as well. And the next key is act as if. The days of faking it until you make it are over. Nobody wants to be fake. That's why the things don't always pan out, because no one wants to be fake. Instead, I want you to act as if. When you are making decisions, I want you to take a moment and ask, what would the 2.0 version of myself do? Right? What would the highest level of myself do? What would my highest self do? Ask yourself that question. When you wake up in the morning and you're putting your to-do list together, what would my highest self do? Does the day start off with you reflecting, praying, moving your body, getting something to eat? I want you to continue to ask yourself, what would the highest version of myself do? And then after you ask that question, do it. Embody them. Take action as them. When you ask yourself that question consciously, it then becomes something that happens subconsciously, which means that you will then just be stepping into that version of yourself each and every day without even having to think about it. That's the power of being intentional. That's the power of doing the work. If you like this video, make sure you like it. Make sure you comment the next level identity of yourself. I want you to write out what that person looks like. And definitely share with someone that is also on the same journey of just becoming a better version of themselves, becoming that 2.0 version of themselves. Until next time, I'm Imani. You know we keep it short, sweet, and impactful. Go be limitless.